Well, hello and good morning. It's 5 a.m. and unfortunately I can't sleep, so I've decided to come out for a cigar. I've got my little carry case. It's about £5 off eBay. And let me show you what we're enjoying today. I do apologise about all the grass. Suppose it fits the scene. Today I've gone for the Bolivar. I've had this in my humidor for around 2 weeks, so not a long time at all. I only recently just got into cigars. It was a friend from Scotland. His name's Duncan, a good friend of mine from a different world, meaning another business venture that we both deal in. And I've seen him post photos before, and he kind of inspired me to try one on my 21st birthday, which was just over a month ago. And I really enjoyed it, and since then I've been hooked. So yeah, let's just cut it. I'm using the Colabri. I forgot what this is actually called. The cutter. That's a perfect cut. And we'll make sure to bring the cap back with us. So I'll put that in the carry case, just so no one thinks I'm littering. Okay. Really like this. It's like a red and black from the same brand, Colabri. But yeah, I mean it's just a lighter, but I suppose when you get into it, people enjoy, the finer things. People collect ashtrays and whatever else. Of course, we're in Mother Nature, so there'll be no ashtray for me today. So yeah, let's toast a cigar. Lovely. Do let me know in the comments if you find I'm doing it wrong. Like I say, it's been around 2 weeks, so I would consider myself a noob. But yeah, I mean, I thought I'd just film the next hour, debrief a little bit, and just savour and enjoy the morning. I'm over in the UK, you see, so we're used to later mornings in winter, and I feel like I get seasonal depression. So every time it comes into summer, I always like to get out and about, just to like enjoy the mornings, I suppose, because I feel like we don't have them long. And I've always noticed now at the moment, I feel like time's going very fast. So any given moment I'll come out and just ponder, I suppose. Never used to be with a cigar, but well, here we are. So the reason I've gone for Bolivar is I've smoked a few different cigar brands. So I've smoked Romeo and Julieta. I haven't smoked Hiba yet, but I've got one on the way, Robusto. Should actually arrive this morning, hopefully. I've smoked Monte Cristo, H. Upperman, and a few other brands. However, I always found that Bolivar smoked the nicest and wasn't as harsh, and was like an even burn always. I just enjoy it, truthfully. But then I also do like a bigger ring gauge, so I've got a open master at home. I was actually going to select that this morning, but I thought I'd rather have a shorter smoke, as I've got work in a couple of hours on no sleep. Oh, look at this. You can't see it, but there's a ladybird. send him away. As I mentioned, I've got work in a couple of hours, so for that reason, I've had to bring out a trusty monster. It's probably not the best pair. Maybe a coffee would have done better, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. Anyway, whilst we're here, let's get a thumbnail. Honestly, I don't know if this will ever get posted. Nearly knocked the drink over. Oh. Surprisingly, I'm actually quite comfy. I mean, the view looks stunning. I shall show you shortly. But I'm on a little tripod and I'm trying not to disturb it, as I feel like once I move it, I won't be able to find its position again to start filming. It's not really smoking the best actually today. Bit of an uneven burn. That could be something which is my fault, possibly the way I lit it. Usually what I'll do is I'll light the cigar inside where there's, you know, no wind, and then I'll take it into my back garden. Or if I smoke at a cigar lounge, I'll ask the person who works there to light it and cut it for me. It was more of a confidence thing, to be honest. When I first started smoking them, I didn't want to cut it wrong or light it wrong. I mean, I'm sure we've all got like similar stories where we've tried to cut or light a cigar and it's just gone horribly wrong. I remember actually, well, like I say, I've only been smoking around a month, and it was my third or fourth cigar that I got sent out, and I ended up lighting it, but I burnt it that much it wouldn't actually light. So when I went to the cigar lounge, I never dared to light it myself. But it's like anything, isn't it? You know, practice makes perfect. Couldn't shy away from it forever. So, yeah, here we are. I mean, it seems okay. Tastes lovely. I should have smelt it really before. I feel like it's very mild in taste compared to some of the other brands that I've smoked. I've also actually, I forgot to mention, I've also got a Davidoff, 2 of them today. I'm not sure which, you know, I know the brand is Davidoff, but I'm not sure which smokes have been sent out, because all I do is order them from my friend Duncan, and he'll kind of send me, you know, surprise boxes out so I can try a whole range of things, and then whatever I like, I will buy more of, and you know, keeps them in the humidor. I can show you that once I'm back. I use a plastic acrylic tub with a, you know, little rubber seal. I find it's much better than the wooden boxes, unless you spend a lot of money. Maybe we might have to try and fix this. I don't want to knock my drink over though. See if we can amend this. So it seems to be smoking very unevenly. I think it's because I burnt it on the end there, but nothing we can't fix. My lighter doesn't seem to be in here. Have I put it in my pocket? That's not good. Sorry about this, I'm just trying to find it. Ah, here we go. See if we can fix this. That should work better. Hopefully that starts to burn a little bit more evenly, or maybe once the ash falls off, that could help. Nice. You know, to be honest, I found a lot of beauty from just enjoying and savouring a cigar. I feel like for me it's a time where I can relax and just, you know, self-reflect. It's just my time. I feel like I disconnect from the actual outside world, and, you know, I can just sit here, have something to hold, and really just think about the path that I want to take, what I want to do, you know, appreciate things. It's quite a grounded experience, you know, it's very mellow, it's chilled out, it's just you and your thoughts, and I mean, take it as you please, but for me, there's beauty within that. For others, a lot of people, you know, struggle and depend on others for their enjoyment. Me personally, I don't think you can really beat stuff like this. Seems to be catching up a little bit. Maybe I should stop worrying about it and just enjoy it. As long as it smokes okay, it should be fine. This drink is going down a little bit too easy. I think I'm depending on the caffeine. Extremely bad. Also the caffeine with the nicotine. I mean, can't do too well for the heart, but you know, not everything in life has to be the best thing for you. Some things you just got to enjoy it. Life's short. That's how I see it. And the enjoyment and experience that I've got out of smoking cigars these past months, compared to the health effects, for me, outweigh it. I mean, for example, I went to a cigar lounge, my first cigar lounge. Over in Fulham in London. I think it's actually West London, and I went to a coin convention, London Coin Fair, and after decided that I wanted to smoke a cigar. So firstly I went to I think it's called either World of Cigars or Cigars of London. I'm not too sure, truthfully. And that's where I picked up the Wide Churchill, the Open Master, and I picked up another one which I can't quite remember off the top of my head. And then after that I was like, okay, well, I can't really smoke them anywhere near the hotel. The weather was really bad, obviously, so I couldn't smoke outside like I can this morning. So I headed to Edmundo's, and when the taxi dropped me outside, I looked at the sign and it had either a for sale or sold or to let or something along those lines. And I thought, right, okay, so that's that out the window. So I decided to cross the street, and there in front of me stood Edmundo's. So it had a sign on the door to ring the doorbell, which I think's I've been to 2 cigar lounges now, and that seems to be quite common. I went to Robert Graham in Cambridge, and they had the same sort of setup where you ring the doorbell, someone lets you in, and I don't mind it. So I headed inside. I was greeted by a man called Edward, who was one of the workers there, and I was quite, timid. I feel like people expect them to be places where quite high profile people go to, people who are quite, stuck up, I suppose. Maybe that's just me, but that was the kind of like stigma that I got with people who smoke cigars. They were like, top G's, if that reference, means anything to anyone. But it was a complete opposite experience for me. From research online, apparently Edmundo's is members only after 6 p.m. But I recall going into there at, I think it was about 7:30. So maybe I got lucky, I'm not too sure. However, I headed in, I explained my budget, how many times I smoked, what sort of time frame I wanted to smoke within. And Edward helped me out picking a few different things out, which led me to pick into a certain cigar. I then sat down. I'm going to have to use this as my little ashtray. There we go. That worked perfect. I ended up sitting down with a man and a woman who was both enjoying their cigars, and he kind of just run me through, the cigar world and just like why he enjoys it and what he likes to smoke and whatever else, which was cool. However, when he finished, I was kind of sat there by myself, and that's when Edward come over and had a conversation with me. And truthfully, it was just one of them moments where I just was like, it was one of, I can't explain the feeling, but I just really appreciated the time there. It was really good. And he showed keen interest, so he asked why I was down in London. I told him that I was attending a coin event, and that was building my own coin website, which possibly will be live by the time you see this, if it ever goes up on YouTube. So if anyone's interested in, gold stacking or coins in general, I feel like coins and cigars go pretty hand in hand. And I feel like if you like cigars, you'll love coins. It's just like, similar things, the beauty of it, the craftsmanship, all the work that goes into it. Similar thing. So I told him why I was down. And he just showed keen interest, really liked the idea, saw the potential, and that was a nice eye opener and a bit of a relief, because I usually hang around with people who are a lot older than me by 2-3 years, sometimes maybe even more, and as a 21-year-old you find yourself comparing yourself, and sometimes that can be a bad thing. It makes you always want that next step and that next milestone, but then at the same time, if someone's got something that you haven't got and you want it, it kind of makes you feel like you're behind, even though that's not ultimately true. But that's how I feel, or think at least. But in there, Edward and Omar, who was the owner of Edmundo's, and the people who were smoking within, which if I'm right in saying were 2 of the members, they were just really, good people. So, like I say, pardon me and Edward had a conversation. I was then invited over to sit with the rest of them, and one of them was from New York, one of them was from London, who moved over to Milan, and it was just a really good conversation about life, morals, business, cigars, and we all just shared a keen interest, and there was just true gentlemen, and that's the kind of like vibe that I've always leaned towards. I don't know if that plays a part because I grew up around my dad, who I find is very gentlemanlike, so I feel like I have to carry that sort of thing around with me too. I think it's just a matter of respect and being a good person, I suppose. But we all shared a keen interest. I told him about the coin website again, and he it just went really well. And yeah, I'm actually going, so I've got 2 coin events. I'm going to Germany in August, and then I'm also going to London Coin Fair again at the beginning of August, which is when I'll see Omar and hopefully Edward again at Edmundo's. They've invited me back down, which is lovely, so we can smoke some cigars. My dad will enjoy a bit of whiskey. Me, myself, I'll probably have espresso and sparkling water, as that's what I prefer, not a monster. Seems to be smoking a little bit better now. So yeah, we'll head down there, enjoy the night, and then I'm actually back down in Mayfair at the end of August for CoinX, which again is also a coin convention. But yeah, it should be a really busy month. There's York, which also hold a coin event, which is in July, so next month. It's the 23rd of June at the moment, so yeah, about a month out until that event, which should be nice. But yeah, you know, I don't know if this video will ever make it up on YouTube, but if it does, I hope people appreciate the rawness and, you know, realism of it. For me, it's just like a learning thing, you know, being able to comfortably talk in front of the camera fluently, no cuts, nothing as such. This is just me, my thoughts, a cigar, and yourselves in the comments. It's nice to come out at this time, actually. I've not, you know, bumped into a single person. I'm quite close to the track, so I'm hoping no dog walkers really come. For me, it kind of just disturbs my peace, and I might go a bit camera shy then. If they see a 21-year-old boy sitting next to a tree smoking a cigar with a can of Monster and a tripod and iPhone, looks pretty interesting, I suppose. Let me know in the comments, what do you actually do with your cigar wrappers? I've seen a lot of people collect them, so that's what I'm going to do. I've got about 10 at the moment, all different ones. But yeah, I'm going to collect them and put them in a little jar. And maybe one day in the future, if I've got enough, I might make like a table where I'll lay them all out flat and then put a glass slab over it. I think that could look pretty cool. But obviously, for something like that, depending on the table size, I'd need to smoke a lot of cigars. And I'll probably have unless I've got iron lungs, my lungs will probably give in before I actually achieve something like that. I really hope you can hear the background of all the birds, and there was owls earlier on. I don't know if you could hear that in the clip before we got up here, but and just like the trees swaying and the wind, and it's so simple, but you know, so enjoyable, to be honest. It's just nice to just sit here and relax. Anyways, let me put that down for a moment. Getting tortured by a fly. See if we can get another thumbnail just in case. Kind of want to spin the cigar wrapper sleeve. Should do. That's for the thumbnail, so what you'll see, obviously. Nice. Getting quite earthy tones, I suppose. Yeah, quite woody. I don't really mind that. It's blowing really nice, actually. Sometimes you have to use a draw tool. From my knowledge, which is very minuscule. But I was told that in Cuba, they don't really have quality control compared to like New World cigars. So Davidoff, all their cigars are perfect, and I think about 80% of them don't ever make it out because they're just not up to scratch. And also, if you want to work for Davidoff, they have a procedure whether you've been in the industry 40 years, 50 years, you start from the bottom and you work your way up to a cigar roller, and that's just to ensure that they have the best product every time, which is quite cool. However, in Cuba, it's the complete opposite, and I think they paid peanuts for their work. So there's no quality control. They just roll cigars for as long as their shift, and then that's it. They don't check them because for them it's not worth their time. They don't get paid enough for it, and I'm pretty sure that's how New World cigars started. They actually moved over to all these different countries what now they're made in now, in hopes that they get more money for the talent, because truthfully it is, from what I know and seen online, it is a skill and an art, and it's not something everyone can just pick up and do. We're nearly half an hour in. Probably got another 25 minutes maybe, I reckon. So quite the long episode. Like I say, I'll just put this on YouTube. I don't expect it to get any views. I don't expect it to do well. Hopefully it's just something someone can just watch and relax to. But who knows? Let me see if I can get rid of that. Do apologise about all the grass in the camera view. Just a little bit concerned. I don't want the ash to fall on myself. However, it should be okay. Let's get the lighter out again. See if we can amend it. I think I just heard dogs. They won't be wild, obviously, so that we could be bumping into someone very soon. There we go. Oh, that was nice. That was a nice burn then. Enjoyed that. I'm a bit concerned. I've not really got to scratch into terms with knowing when it's actually going to fall. So I've had I had the experience in Robert Graham. I went with my friend who was visiting down in St Ives, and we went to the cigar lounge. What did I pick up there? I think I picked a H. Upman, I think they are, or Upperman. And I bought a brand new shirt. I looked the par, and I was smoking it. And I know a lot of avid cigar smokers will see how far they can get with the ash, and usually they say that's an indicator of a good cigar if the ash is, sufficient. And I was trying to do that, got a bit too cocky, and the ash fell all down my body. It was kind of like a light grey polo, so I thought, okay, it's going to stay in the shirt, and I'm gonna have to go get my friend to go get me a new shirt. I can't really walk out the cigar lounge with ash all over myself. But luckily, I just kind of like pinged my t-shirt, if that makes sense, and all the ash just kind of floated off, and I had like the tiniest mark, but very, very, unnoticeable. But I was like, my friend was laughing his head off, whereas I was like, ooh. I was quite like stressed, I suppose. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it made me quite stressed because I was like, it kind of ruined the experience. So they say when you're enjoying and savouring a cigar, you need to be very relaxed and, mellowed. And that just like, straight away I was like, oh my God, my t-shirt's ruined. like I was stressed and I couldn't really enjoy the cigar as much as I would have liked to. And then the other day, not yesterday, 2 days ago, I was smoking a cigar in the back garden, and about 3 doors down there was some children playing outside, screaming and messing around and doing what kids do, I suppose. But when you're smoking a cigar, it's not really the environment you want to smoke it in. Luckily it was quite a small cigar, similar size to this. So I was almost finished by the time that it started getting a bit too much for me. But like your expensive premium cigars like Cohiba, the one that I've got coming today, Cohiba Robusto, if I'm correct in saying, I mean, that's a £60 cigar. I really don't want to be enjoying, you know, such an expensive item with children in the background screaming and messing around. It would just ruin the experience and moment for me. So, I mean, depending on how I feel, if this goes up, maybe we'll come back to this spot or maybe another spot, and we'll smoke another cigar and we'll go for the Cohiba. And feel free to educate me in the comments. You know, let me know how long you've been smoking for. Maybe let me know some smokes that you'd like me to try. I feel like you're going to get quite an honest and raw opinion because I'm quite new to this, whereas some people who are quite, you know, experienced might be a bit more, you know, biased. If they have like a certain brand that they like, they might not give a full honest opinion, whereas I'm just kind of figuring what I like, so I'll just be as brutally honest as I can. And obviously you've got to remember everyone's taste palates is different and individual, so if I like something, you might not like it, and vice versa. But yeah, let me know of some spots that you'd like me to see. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sat here this morning beside a tree at probably 5:30 in the morning with the birds chirping. But if you'd like me to smoke somewhere else, maybe in the rain or anything really, do let me know in the comments. I'm happy to try different places. Just obviously remember that I do like it to be in a quite chilled and quiet environment, but I'm sure that won't matter at 5:30 in the morning. But yeah, I actually got this idea from a person on YouTube who you might have actually seen before. You probably have. He's quite large. I think he's called Jacob, if I'm not mistaken. He lives in America, and he just does these videos where he, you know, he's mainly known for cigarettes, and he does dabble into cigars now and again. But yeah, I found him from a video where he was visiting a cigar shop somewhere in America, and he was showing off their humidor. And then since then, you know, if I'm chilling out at home, I'll just put my AirPods in and enjoy it. We're actually seeing the first person now. Someone's coming through on an electric scooter. That's the first person I've seen this morning. They didn't even notice me, which is good. I don't want my peace to be disturbed. The only thing that I don't like about smoking cigars, and maybe you just get used to it over time, but the smell just seems to linger for days. I mean, like this hoodie, of course I'll have to wash it straight away after, but it hugs onto clothes, my fingertips. I mean, I struggle to get the smell away. Obviously shower, wash my hands, whatever, but it just seems to linger. I mean, like I haven't smoked in 2 days apart from this morning, and I went out with a friend yesterday evening, and he just said he could just smell like an aroma of cigars, which he didn't mind the smell of, but it's just like, how do you get rid of it? You know, if I'm going out for dinner or something like that, I don't want to smell of cigars. Maybe not until the evening, and it just seems to be very overpowering. I mean, I've never actually put on aftershave and then, you know, smoked a cigar, so I can't really know if, you know, aftershave takes away the edge of it. But truthfully, to be honest, I've never actually had anyone come up to me and say that I stink of cigars, which is great. I must say the one thing that I do need is a, I forgot what they're called, I think they're called nub holders. Usually they come with like one prong, but I've been told that they end up, sometimes it'll spin, so when the cigar's on the prong it'll start turning and moving, which is obviously inconvenient. But I've seen people, and at Edmunda's they had nub holders which had two prongs, so it was more of like a firmer connection, if that makes sense. Because when you get to the bottom of the cigar, it'll burn your fingers, if you know, when it gets so close. And yeah, I've been looking. I mean, as I'm sure the people who are watching this know, when you get into your cigars, you start, you know, collecting things, so like your lighters, your cutters. You can get V cutters and all different types of cutters, and you know, your ashtrays and things like that. And you always want the like cool versions, so I kind of wanted like a cool nub holder, but I just can't find any in the UK. I mean, there's a few Etsy sellers in America, but you know, you're looking at over £100. They're all custom, so you know, I'm not discrediting their, you know, craftsmanship or whatever else, but it's £100 for the thing. But then to get it over to the UK, it's another £70 for just a little nub holder, which is probably, you know, the size of my pinky finger. Seems a bit excessive, truthfully, especially a month in. I mean, I've already spent hundreds of pounds compared to, I'm sorry if that's disturbing the mic, got like an itch. But yeah, I mean, I spent £100 the other day. Oh, we've got a bit there. There we go. I spent £100 the other day, but the value of it is, in the UK terms, is over £200. He really looks after me, truthfully. So I spent £100 on 2 Davidoff, 1 Cohiba, 2 Bolivar, I think similar to these, if not the same, and he sent me 2 or 3 of a different brand out that he wants me to try for free, which is very nice of him, very kind. So that's £100 there. I spent £150 on the 3 cigars in the, you know, in London. So that's £250. I also spent another £150 with my friend last week. So that's £500. And then I smoked at Edmunda's where I spent £100, that's £600. And then I spent £133 because I got an ashtray and 3 cigars. I got a 150th anniversary from Robert Graham, which is exclusive to their shop. So, you know, and then obviously my lighter and cutter were £50 each. So we, you know, and then I got a wooden humidor, which is actually, sorry. I spent more money on the wooden humidor, which I've not actually used yet. It's just in the process of being seasoned. So I've got a 84% Boveda pack, if I'm correct in saying. And then I've also got my acrylic, you know, tub that I actually hold my cigars in with a 69% Boveda pack. So like I mentioned, you know, I'm close to nearly £1,000 into cigars already. So it's a very, very expensive hobby. And then, as you all know, like I've mentioned earlier on in the video, I love my cigars too. Sorry, not cigars, I love my coins. I mean, I don't know if any of you track or follow the price of gold and things like that, but you're looking at £2,500 an ounce, and I don't really do ounce coins, but I much prefer, collectible and old, half sovereigns, Victoria, William IV, George III, George IV. And sometimes they can be, if you get them in a mint state, which is like a very high grade, you're looking at thousands of pounds sometime. Its gold content's way less than that, but it's about equivalent to about £300 in gold, and then the rest of it, premium wise, is all in its collectability and graded. So 2 expensive hobbies, it's a lot to fund. And then I also love travelling like nearly every other person in this world. Like I mentioned, I'm off to Nürburgring in Germany. One of my friends has got a BMW M2. So we're going to film a big video which will probably be on, and I'm not sure if, I'm undecided whether to put this video on my usual channel, which is Shrek PF70, or whether I'll make a completely new channel just for this, which I'm leaning more towards because I'm a bit shy to put something as out there as as it is on my main channel where all my friends and family can see. I mean, some of my friends know that I smoke cigars and recently got into it, but I don't know, it's not very common, especially at 21, to smoke cigars. So I might just keep it separated and let that channel be its own thing, and then this can be its completely own thing too. We've actually got someone in the background on my left hand side. Possibly a dog walker. Oh well. Or maybe, I think she's just having a little ponder, to be honest. Maybe on a morning walk. Fair play to her. I mean, I'd be doing the same. Just trying to find a spot to hold the can. Yeah, I think she's on a morning ponder. I can't see no dog. Thankfully, because if the dog saw me, they'd probably run over and disturb me. There's actually not in the background, in front of me, there's actually a rainbow. Like I say, I can't really move the camera as it stands because I don't want to disturb the angle or just the quality of video. Should probably take off the sleeve now. We're getting towards the foot of the cigar. So I have always struggled sometimes, not always, but I've had a couple experiences where I've tried to remove the cigar paper, and sometimes it peels the actual cigar leaf, the wrapper, but this one has seemed to come off pretty well. So I'll put that in the bag over there and yeah, continue smoking. There's not really much left of it. We are coming towards the foot, like I say, so we're 45 minutes in, well, just under. There's probably another 10 minutes maybe, and yeah, that'll be a nice morning smoke completed, and then we'll head home. I'll probably have to drink another Monster, and then my friend's picking me up at around 7 a.m. I think it is. We're going to head to the gym. I've put on quite a lot of weight recently, in the past like 7 months. No particular reason, just kind of being quite lazy with my my diet and not really caring for myself, which might seem a bit hypocritical now, smoking cigars, which is not really looking after your body, but like I say, everything in moderation. However, I just feel like I'm getting a little bit too big. So these past 2 days I've been, these past 2 days I've been really watching what I'm eating, and I've actually stepped on the scales this morning, and I've lost around 1 kilo, which is nice, and hopefully it just keeps chipping away. I'm getting quite a dead leg, to be honest. I need to stretch out. I've been quite comfy, to be honest, until this like passed. Maybe it's because I was laying on my right hand leg. But yeah, I mean, this is nice. It was actually supposed to rain. It was raining really heavy yesterday, which is why I didn't smoke. I always try to enjoy them in nice weather. You can't really smoke unless you've got like an outdoor shelter or gazebo or something as similar, or if you can smoke inside if you've got a room designed for it. But for me, I have to smoke in the back garden, so if it rains, I've got no shelter. So I looked in the weather forecast this morning when I couldn't sleep. It did say it was raining, but headed outside and it's not, so not really sure what's going on there. But it's really starting to open up now. The clouds seem to be drifting away and blue skies coming out. I mean, you can just about, it's quite cloudy actually in the background over there, but in front of me is very, very, very blue, to be honest. And the rainbow in the background looks quite immense, to be honest. I had an experience the other day. Like I say, I've only been smoking around a month, so I've had quite a few experiences in a short span of time where I actually smoked the cigar too fast, and it gave me all these like weird symptoms where I just feel like I don't know if it was the nicotine from it, but I had the sensation of like needing to go to the toilet for a slash. However, I didn't actually need one because I just went for one. And apparently that's a symptom if you smoke a cigar too fast. It makes your like bladder quite disturbed, which is strange, but I definitely felt, weird. So now I try and, savour it and take my time. I'll probably have someone in the comments tell me that I've smoked it too fast or I've done something wrong, but for me, as long as you don't cut too much of the foot off, or you've got your cap, haven't you? You've got two lines to your cap, so that's where you know how to cut to, or where to cut to, sorry. As long as you don't burn it and do what I did, where you can't actually light it and then you've got to cut the top of it to like relight it again. I don't think there's a wrong way of smoking a cigar. As long as it smokes, and the end product is the same for everyone. So I know some people say to toast it. People say that you should use matches, and everyone's got the different way of smoking it. However, for me, toasting it and then, putting it in the mouth and lighting it is the best way for me. But people do frown against that. People say you should take your time, and that's a bit of an art itself, lighting the cigar, and you should enjoy that. But for me, I'm a bit impatient with that at the moment. I'd rather just light the cigar as fast as I can and just begin the experience. Well, it seems like the cigar has gone out, so let's relight. Should probably put it in my mouth actually. Ow. It's not really lighting that well. Should be a little bit there. There we go. I don't know if it's because I'm taking too long with it, but when I get towards the end of them, they just don't seem to hold the heating as well, and sometimes they go out, but I don't think it's a bad thing to relight it. Not like this anyways. Yeah, definitely quite earthy tones and woody. I'm getting a different type of flavour. I just can't put a word to it and what it actually tastes like, but quite enjoyable. Could be an hour long, this video, so I'm not sure if anyone's actually going to stick around and watch the full thing, or if I've just spent an hour of my life talking to the camera for no one to watch. But it's nice just to debrief. And I haven't really gone into much detail, but you know, there's plenty of time where we can get to know each other. That's the avenue I've always taken in life. I feel like having that like personal touch with people is always important. Knowing how to speak to people is a great, you know, skill set to have. And to be honest, quite a lot of people struggle with it. But truthfully, me just being able to talk to people and having the confidence, and you know, without being egotistical, like I say, just having the confidence just to speak to people has got me in some pretty cool situations and allowed me to have some pretty cool experiences. Like Edmundo's, you know, I feel like if I was not someone who was, you know, well spoken or well at just communicating with people, I wouldn't have had the, you know, the same experiences what I did. I think before we head home, I'll actually show you the view where I was sat and what my view looked like for you lot. I don't know if that's going to upset some people. Oh, there we go. That's the first disturbance. Maybe it's a time where I can just show you, considering it's just moved. So that's my view. The camera doesn't really pick up, you know, the entire background of what I can actually see, opposed to what the camera's picking up. It's completely different. I don't know if you can see over there. No, there's a bin, so that's where I'll put the cigar nub, so don't worry about me littering or anything. See if I can put you back down now. Don't know if I've yeah, I could have messed this up. Seems like the tripod's been disturbed. Let's try again. Trying to find the correct spot. We'll see. I don't know if it's going to stand for the full thing, but we'll give it a go. It's getting quite hot to the fingers now to touch. Just knock a bit more of this off. I actually saw a video on TikTok when I first started smoking cigars. I started, you know, researching and watching a few people, and I saw a young adult, probably similar to my age, and he was smoking the cigar completely wrong. I mean, like I say, there's people have their set ways, and you know, people think you should smoke it this way or that way or whatever else, but he was like tapping the cigar like it was a cigarette. He was like nubbing it out, you know, in the ashtray, and he was inhaling it, which you should never do with a cigar. You should, you know, save the flavour within your mouth. You should never take it back. And all the comments were just absolutely flaming him. Clearly he was just trying to, you know, pretend to be someone he's not, I suppose. And yeah, he just got absolutely flamed, which I found quite funny. This rainbow's really starting to show now. I'll probably have a few more puffs and then that'll be me done. I don't want to have too much of it because it starts to burn my fingers, to be honest. And yeah, it's getting a bit, you know, getting a bit later on, and I've got to head back and get ready for work. I don't know if I'm going to regret this, not sleeping. Luckily I don't really work many hours. Well, I do, but I'm contracted to 6 with the company that I work with. Used to be 4. I've actually just upped my hours a couple of weeks ago. So maybe I'll do these 6 hours and head home and actually get some rest. We'll see how we feel. Probably shouldn't exercise on no sleep, but yeah, maybe I'll just have to rinse the caffeine. Hopefully that helps me get through the day. The way I see it is, you know, these experiences and memories that I'll have from just creating this video and just enjoying this cigar and having this experience with all you lot outweighs the cons of not sleeping. You know, life's short, it's not the end of the world, I can sleep later on, that's how I see it. I mean, you could probably say I could smoke the cigar later on, but it's not often that I get to do something like this. And like I say, in summer I always like to just get out and about. So my sleep does become, I've always struggled with sleep, so it does become, you know, pretty bad. But it's not the end of the world, in my opinion. Yeah, really starting to burn the fingers now. So when I head home, or maybe in another video, I'll show you my little like setup that I've got at the moment. I can definitely tell the cigars are much more enjoyable. They just seem to have quite a like spongy texture to it. So I think that's a good sign. They always retract after like I squeeze it. They seem to be fine. None of them are cracking or breaking apart. So, I mean, I'll have to show you all. I've been told that it looks fine and that it's all good. The seal seems to be very good too, and it's in a, you know, it's stored correctly. So, yeah, I'll have to show you a lot of that at some point. Suppose the good thing about this is that I can just, you know, upload this without any editing, which makes I've got 1 clip or maybe 2 clips that I need to edit in, which is the beginning when I'm walking up to it, as you'll have seen, and probably the end, depending on how I do an outro. Ideally, I'd like to show the spot properly from the reverse camera, because I'm on the front facing one, and it doesn't quite pick up as much detail as the, you know, reverse of the camera does. So maybe I'll end the clip and show that, but I'd like to keep it as raw and, you know, unedited as possible, just to give it that like raw, personal touch, if that makes sense. I think I'm gonna have one more smoke and that's me done. Okay, I think that's me done. So I'll put that there for a moment. We'll pack the bag and we'll be on our way. So I've got the cigar cutter, which I'll put back in there. Obviously the head of it, which I'll throw in the bin. I've got a little bug on it, actually. We'll get rid of that. There you go. And yeah, let's head home. So yeah, that was me smoking a Bolivar cigar at 5 in the morning, and I can't seem to find my cigar lighter. I keep misplacing it. Oh, there we go. It actually fell out of the bag, so we'll put that back in the little case. I'm not sure if I should have a better case. It's just a cheap zip-up one, and then I think it's supposed to be like a travel case. But I mean, and then you just put a little mini Boveda pack in it when you're travelling. But I don't know, it doesn't really, seems quite unsturdy. I feel like it could damage the cigars if it goes in like transit, if that makes sense. You know, if I take it on an aeroplane, it could get squished. So I might have to upgrade at some point. But yeah, we'll finish this. Got a little bit left. What I can do actually is put that in there. I know you shouldn't really do this, but it makes it a little bit easier for me to carry it. Fingers do smell quite potent. Anyways, bear with me. I just carried everything in this little, you know, satchel, I suppose. And right, let's grab the camera and let's take the rubbish down to the bin. Oh, my legs have gone a bit jelly-like. Let me just show you. I was actually sat just by that tree there. Not the first, not that one, the third one. Very, very relaxing spot. But yeah, let's head down. I mean, I might take you off this tripod. I hope it doesn't knock you off. 1 second. There we go. A little bit easier to manoeuvre. Still not bumped into anyone. Maybe this is a spot. But yeah, that was me smoking a cigar, a Bolivar cigar at 5 a.m. in the morning, in a forest. I think that's what we're going to call it. Here's a bin. So, done the right thing, put it in the bin. Anyways, I'm going to end the video here, but firstly, I'm going to end the clip and actually show you where I was just sat, and then I'll show you. I can't really show you the view properly now as I've headed down the hill, but we'll show that, and then yeah, we'll end the clip there, so bear with me. My name's Josh, if no one knows. I'm sure you will, because I'm actually going to, whatever I decide to call myself on YouTube will include Josh, but it's been nice to chat to you all and meet everyone. So yeah, do leave some comments in the section below. You know, let's all connect and, you know, network, and maybe one day we can have we can meet up with some people and go to some cigar lounges. But yeah, that's me over and out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. So I was sat on that tree just there, just had my back to it, and then I was just kind of looking over this above the tree line. But yeah, a nice, enjoyable walk.